Welcome to the Lair, a place where interesting people you may know tell you things you didn't. So grab a chair and your favorite vice and get comfortable. There are no rules in the Lair, but there is Laura Babcock. You know her from TV, and she is not into media monogamy. Let's find out who else is in the Lair.
You're joining us in the Lair with former Councillor Ron Corsini, now a television celebrity. He's a regular on the Opinionators Wednesdays on Cable 14 and was on the Opinionators Tuesday for a long time with our other guest joining us here. He's sitting in the Baba Booey chair, and that's Lauren Lieberman.
Ahoy.
And as you know, if you followed the Laircast for a while, we usually do a couple of interviews a night, so sometimes there's a little bit of bleed over from one to the other. And so Ron got to sit through both Mayor Bertina's Laircast and former Councillor Kaplan's Laircast. And what was your take on those?
Well, I enjoyed listening to Bob's Laircast. I mean, Marvin's too was interesting. And, I know Marvin.
Right.
You know, having worked with him for 3 years on council. So whatever Marvin said tonight, that's Marvin.
Did it pass the sniff test for you?
Yeah, it did. And that's Marvin. And, he may be a lot more passionate about, working at City Hall and wanting to do more good for the community. Sure, you know what? When I ran, it was a grassroots movement. People were just tired at the time because Vince Agro and Bill McCullough were there for over 25 years.
Right.
And
They go back to the Victorian era.
Yeah, and they were looking for a change. They were looking for.
You're gonna call me now, guys.
Well, I had name recognition. I was well known in the community at the time. So was Andrea at the time, and the movement, the labor movement, and the whole bit.
Yeah.
So when we both ran, and it was a clean race. We were running against two longtime incumbents, and we managed to succeed. And it was an experience for me, and it was an experience that I wish everyone could have.
So it wasn't,
once in their lifetime.
It wasn't life altering or what Marvin has experienced.
Oh, no. You know what? I was in business for over 25 years on James Street North, having taken over a family business from my grandfather to my father to myself. And at that time, I was ready for a change, ready to branch out.
You never saw yourself as Mayor Corsini?
No.
No?
I was very involved in politics, in backroom politics
Right.
and planning and things like that from Jack McNee days. And you probably wouldn't even remember Jack McNee, who was, pardon me?
Just a kid.
You were just a kid. Jack McNee, and I worked on all of Lincoln Alexander's campaigns from day one.
But you could kind of take it or leave it, whereas Marvin was saying that he really loved it. And Mayor Bertina, what did you think of his Laircast?
Well, I thought it was very good. I think he's passionate about it.
Yeah.
You know what? A couple of weeks at a book launch down at Leona Station, I met a councillor who has gone head-to-head with Mayor Bertina. And he was there with a former alderman, and he said to me, he said, Ron, he said, I've sat on a number of councils, and he said, by far, this is the best one.
Wow.
And he had some praise, and he's
What's
pardon
that?
me?
That's a low bar.
Well, you know, I mean,
Everybody limbo.
Listen,
But
you
you
have
know
to give
what?
me props for throwing the pen back in Bob's face when he said that this council's got decorum. I'm like, yeah,
It's too
unlike when
bad
you chuck
we didn't
pens.
have cameras in here for that. His face didn't appreciate
No,
that.
I know, but the guy threw a pen. I had to bring it up.
That's when he was
A counselor, but he also
counselor.
threw it at me on the air when I was bringing it up with him. I had to bring it when he talked about the decorum of this council.
Yeah.
I had to bring it up. But the point being, you're saying you've heard feedback. This is the
Well,
best
yeah,
council.
this
you've seen.
counselor told me this is the best council ever. We work very well together. The mayor has a problem because the mayor's always just been him and the microphone. Now it's him and 15 other people.
Right. So you're saying
You know,
working
so
on the team is tough.
Working on the team is difficult because he's never been.
Were you a
real
full-time
teammate.
counselor when you were on council?
Yes.
You went to all the meetings?
I went to all the meetings. I was
Did you
there
ever skip a tough
all-
vote?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Marvin's True Confessions.
Yeah. Yeah. I did. I remember.
So, because when
one time.
tell me if I'm wrong, Lauren, but when I hear about, the council breakdown on a vote on a really tough decision that's galvanized the community, and I see 2 or 3 absent, I want to believe they're BS stories about they had something else to do that day, but what we're hearing.
Well,
really,
everyone's done it. And I
I'd
don't
comment
believe
on
for-
that, but I have to
Yeah.
leave to pee now.
I don't
so
believe
you have
for
a legitimate
minute.
reason for ducking the questions.
No.
See, you could have been on council
A
except
lot
for
of
your
people-
lifestyle and comments and the rest of it.
No, a lot of people have to urinate during a council meeting.
Some of them do it through their mouths, but that's something totally different.
But you know what? And I don't believe for a moment that if a counselor comes up to me and says, "No, I have never done that," I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. And it was about a couple of weeks right after I was elected that a counselor came up to me, a long-time sitting counselor came up to me and said, "Ron, don't vote like that. You can't take that position. Think of your re-election." And I said, "I just got elected last week."
Yeah.
He said, "Think of your re-election." And you do. You constantly think. And I don't believe for a moment that any counselor saying, "No, I'm there for the,
Like Marvin said.
Well, no, we're all there for the good of the community. We're elected and we're paid handsomely to do a job and represent the people, obviously. But I mean, if
Were
there's
you 2 terms?
one term.
One term.
So let me ask you this question, though, because this, I think, is a fundamental dilemma. And we're going to talk to our next guest in a few minutes about the 2012 election in the U.S. And it's painful to watch the president, for instance, spend half their time in office worrying about re-election, right?
It's true. Look how long the re-election process
you just
is.
wish that they would do something true, honest, and take risks based on their beliefs as opposed to their re-electability. So you're saying even as a city councillor, the re-election conversation came up a week into office.
Absolutely.
That's kind of sickening
Absolutely.
to me.
Or
although, I mean, I'm trying to understand it saying, okay, nobody wants to lose their job. We
Yeah.
all have contracts. I do with clients. I think, how do I perpetuate them? But I hope I don't do it at the expense of a good job.
Laura, this is power.
Okay.
This is real power. I mean,
I thought having a television show was power.
It's that too. But this is
that
real
too.
power. Being a counselor is real
that
power.
too. Co-producing the new show is great. I love doing
we're
that.
just the armchair quarterbacks of the power game, Lord.
But being elected and sitting there around that table gives you a sense of power.
I'm glad you said that.
I did not realize the power that I held.
Lauren, Marvin, do you agree? It's power?
Absolutely, Marvin. The perks that I got, I could park anywhere in the city.
Yeah, that's power, man.
It was different.
That was just
Those
one
sacks
of
of cash
hold
at
on,
Christmas
hold
time.
Hold on, Marvin's weighing in here.
No, there's a difference because I was president of the downtown BIA. I was president of the Social Planning and Research Council. So in a number of ways, I had as much or more power than an individual member of council before I got on. But it's true that you do have power. The question of feeling that you have power was different for me.
Oh, well, see, I had power owning my own business. I had power over 25 employees at the time. So I had power because what I said goes. And then you get reelected and you go into the political process. And in business, you want to change the color of the walls. Those are done within 24 hours. At city level, when you're elected official, it takes months and months and months to paint the wall. These are things that frustrated me more so than anything. But there was trade-offs. I needed a four-way stop.
Right.
That this corner, this one particular corner, every week, accident after accident after accident. And staff said, no, it's the wrong thing to do. It's wrong. I went around door to door, got a petition, got them to put a four-way stop. There hasn't been an accident there in a year.
That's good.
So
I ask you
just
this.
making the community a little more safe.
In terms of you being the king of Kensington, I'll let James Street know.
Hey, that's a great line.
So you're not the king of Kensington anymore, as Corsini's hasn't existed for some time.
That's right.
So please tell me what happened to the family business in relation to what happened downtown and what's happening downtown.
Well, the whole neighborhood started to change. I mean, when my grandfather and father were there, then when I was there were a lot of Italian families living in the neighborhood, and we catered to all these Italian families by selling goods that they wanted to purchase. But as time went by, a lot of these families became a lot more successful. They saved their money and they bought homes. Sure. And to move a la montagna, that was huge
that
for
the
them. That
a la
was
montagna?
a la montagna. O Stone Creek. Stone Creek, a la montagna.
Stone Creek.
Was great.
I love it.
I mean, to them that
you buy a Makina,
Yeah.
you go to Stony Creek.
So
and you bought a washing machine.
Why didn't Corsini's take the Fortino's approach?
We could have. You know what? And John Fortino.
Really?
God
You
rest
guys were
his
that
soul.
successful?
Pardon me?
That's
My
what
father.
it was.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
My father and John Fortino were good friends.
Really,
And John asked my father, look, I got this idea. We cannot stay small anymore. Come with us. There's 10 of us.
Could have been Corsini's.
We're each going to put in $100,000 at the time. And my father would not take the chance. He would, like a lot of Italian, very successful Italians in Hamilton now, they're developers and such, and they took chance. They were gamblers. My father was not. You look at the Valeris and the Molineros.
Do you regret that at all, or was that?
I don't know. You know what? At that time, I was still in school, and my father was very comfortable, making a very good living in what he was doing. We lived in the penthouse above the store on James Street North, so we had a lovely apartment.
Wait a second, we're getting some guffaws from Marvin Kaplan here about your penthouse above the store.
Well, at that there were a lot of Jewish families and Jewish businesses on James Street North at the time, and
the store. Come on,
and they
was that
lived
not a penthouse for you?
and they lived in the penthouses
we
too.
we didn't have hot water in the. We had to carry the coal up to put the heater.
You had to
on.
carry the coal up, so your penthouse might have been different than Marvin's above the store
ours was
penthouse.
different. We had
You had running
electric
water
heat,
and electric heat.
Yeah, so it was. We lived in the lap of luxury. But these are things. So, maybe looking back, and my dad was just. But at that time, now I wish, he made a mistake. But then my father went up and bought an apartment building on the mountain, and that was, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And when he bought the apartment building on Fennel in Upper Ottawa, right across the street was a farm. And there were cows running around. And I remember going up there once a week to clean the stairs in this apartment building.
Fortino's was east. You guys were downtown. And who?
Oh my God, there was Sardo's on York Street.
No, but
You're really
Dundas
into
now,
groceries
they were in
circa
Westdale.
1970, Laura.
Yeah. Well, there were all these small independents.
Peconi's.
I'm just saying.
Peconi's in Dundas. Oh,
in Westdale at the time, too.
Do you have some kind of vested interest in the grocery?
No. I
but
remember
this is the
growing up in the
involvement-
Southwest, and my Italian neighbors would get their groceries delivered by ordering by phone from Corsini's.
That's right.
It was.
So to bring us up 30 years, and I don't mean to take you away from your family
Tell us
business.
about the slumlord that is you.
Well,
renting out your penthouses to the new generation of James Street North. Right?
That's the whole thing. And it's really...
I'm sorry, did I say...
You officially owned your Baba Booey status, Lauren, with that one.
I still own property down on James
Going back
Street.
to Twitter. Okay.
And well,
do you realize how many Jewish people do we have in the room right now? At least 3 out of 6, Rob. Watch out. Out of 7.
But
no Jewish
I had
jokes.
A crack house. They were
You had a
lovely.
crack house?
Yeah. I rented a property out, and they were very nice people when they came to rent, put down their first and last.
Yeah.
And it turned out that it happened to be a crack house.
Wow.
But eventually
On James Street North? That doesn't
James
sound
Street
right.
North, yeah.
Where the,
I still got 2 pieces of property there if you're interested.
but you're not
they're
selling
for
them very
sale.
well as crack houses.
Well, let's talk about real estate.
I know a good realtor
please
that could listen for you if you want
Listen,
one.
I barred real estate in the Marvin Kaplan discussion. I'm not going to talk to you about it right now.
Jeez.
Unless it's the broader perspective of how good of a market Hamilton is or something along those lines. So, Ron, tell me a little bit about why you love being a TV pundit so much. Because you're not just a one-term counselor or a former grocery czar, as Lauren has aptly described. You do punditry. You've been doing it for a year. Punditry, Mike. You've been doing it for years.
For years. I've
So
been
why?
doing
Why
it
the need
probably
to-
since 2001, and I had been doing interviews for national magazines. The Saturday Night Magazine, I did a huge interview.
So
with
why
my
do you
grandmother,
love it?
You know what? It keeps me involved in the community.
Yeah.
The research that I have to do before the shows keep me more connected, and that's what I really like, because I've given back to this community by sitting on a number of boards from the hospital to opera, and I enjoy that part
Why
of
don't you
it.
tell the truth that being a TV pundit makes you a rock star at school?
It does.
Why don't you tell the
Everyone
truth?
loves
Well,
you at
it
school.
does,
Be honest.
because you know what? I was sitting in the grade 7 class, and they have to do this story. And a group of them work on the story, and so the teacher went around saying, "Well, what is your story on?" "Well, we're doing it on Mr. Corsini because he's a celebrity." And I said, "Well, yeah." So I said, "Okay, come on over." And they interviewed me, and the whole bit. I got grade 7 students wondering what it's like, and all the money that I make being on TV. I make
We make a
huge
fortune.
amounts
I
of
saw
money.
your last paycheck. It's
Well,
not bad.
Hey,
Not bad.
You're still griping about that.
I just can't wait for the homework in 3 weeks when this comes out and it's all about Mr. Corsini's crack house.
In case you missed the producer, he just made the comment that now the kids at Corsini School will hear about Mr. Corsini's crack house.
Oh yeah, I told him I was doing this podcast.
Sounds like a children's book,
So I told
actually.
him how to access it.
It's a Catholic school, so
Mr. Corsini.
freezing out the Jews should be acceptable. But
Oh, jeez. So I have to say, Jim, listen, are you hearing all these cracks from Lauren? We have to talk about real Jewish issues when you get on.
what? Talk to Ron. He lived in Israel.
Listen,
did?
He's a friend of the
did.
Jewish people.
Absolutely.
Why'd you live in Israel?
Well, we were after high school. We wanted to go to Europe, and I always wanted to go to Israel because studying Israel in catechism classes in a Catholic school, I wanted to find out where Jesus walked and where the Transfiguration took place. And so we went there, and I went myself and 3 other very, very waspy friends.
You said it like that's a bad thing.
Well, no, because you know what? I grew
Am I
a
the only
beard.
wasp in the
I grew a
room?
beard when
Represent
I
me here,
was
Mike.
over there. And so people used to stop me on the streets. Excuse me, do you speak English? Can you tell me how to get to the Wailing Wall? And because I had my work clothes on from the kibbutzim, and I worked there 50 cents a day.
Plus, Ron was a graduate of Westdale High.
Wow.
Wow.
Hello?
No,
Are you his biographer? What is going on?
no, he's immersed in the Jewish community. I'm
Yes,
telling you.
Okay.
absolutely. I have
So he's
3
another. He's Italian, but immersed in the Jewish community. You're Jewish and Italian, and immersed in both. So the two of you have a lot of.
We're friends.
Are you?
I got taken for a Jew throughout high school. In fact, in grade 12, on a Jewish holiday, when half of the population was, at shul, they were saying, teacher came up to me and said, "Corsini, what are you doing here today?" And I said, "Why
What
should
about
I
the
be
last
here?"
time Corsini
Yeah.
didn't think you were Jewish?
No, didn't. So I said,
It wasn't
well,
Lieberman.
Yeah, he said, "How come you're not in church?" Church, he said. So there you go. That's how much he knew.
Why do you think
Yeah.
they thought you were Jewish? Why do you think?
I don't know.
Italians went to cathedral.
Yeah, they all went.
Oh,
to
so he went to the
cathedral.
wrong school. That's why.
I don't know. Maybe because I drove a brand new car to school and stuff like that.
So you're saying because you were wealthy?
Good with money.
So because you were with money,
Maybe, yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
but it wasn't an
You
insult.
say it quickly. It's Ron Cohen.
Ron Cohen. You know what? When I went to, I was not mistaken for being Jewish, but I went to an elementary school in Montreal where I would say it was 75% Jewish kids. So on Jewish holidays, which there seemed to be a lot of, we would do crafts. I loved those days because we had they were almost like holiday days at school because there was 5 of us in the entire classroom.
That's right.
So I didn't mind it.
No, so there would be no lessons taught on that.
Yeah,
day.
no, it was great.
Anyway, but no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed learning about the Jewish because from a kid from the North End, there weren't any Jews there when I was growing up. So there weren't. They had all moved away. They had all made it big time and moved away.
You're still driving a new car and living in a penthouse. So
Yeah.
I think.
But no, because kids asked me, they said, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Well, I live in a penthouse on James Street." I didn't say James North. They automatically assumed it was James South.
The second floor
No, I
above a
didn't.
store is
I
not
didn't.
generally a penthouse.
I didn't tell them.
I love that you
But-
call it what I really do.
But I.
It's
Well,
fantastic.
no, it was a penthouse. It was the top floor of the building. The second floor.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's like a penthouse, isn't it?
I guess. So we're in a penthouse here, clearly at the Lair.
Or a flat.
Or a flat. Or an
Oh,
apartment
yeah.
above a store.
Flat.
But you know what? It doesn't matter. We're just bugging you, Ron.
Were you
It's
born
okay.
at the store or in a hospital?
I was.
It's a valid question on
No,
James Street.
I could have been born. I could have been born on the kitchen table.
I'm asking.
No, because I wasn't far from St. Joe's.
All right,
That's
all
where-
Do you know
Back
what,
me up.
Ron,
That
one
is a
of-
valid question.
One of the reasons I invited you to the Lair.
I'm not that old. I mean, it's not talking about when I was born. there
You're
weren't-
Marvin's age.
Oh, no, I'm a lot younger than Marvin. I just started
Marvin's-
getting my pension now, last couple of months ago.
So you're 65?
No,
I don't know how old
60.
you are to get a
can't-
pension. I
you
don't know.
collect pension at 60.
Listen, the reason why you're so fun to talk to, Ron, is you have a great sense of humor. I mean, really, Lauren's been cracking jokes at your expense for a half an hour, and you take them like a pro. It's hilarious.
I don't care.
Plus, you've been getting your seniors discount at Shoppers for 5 years.
I have, and you know what? McDonald's coffee is
Fortino's and
really
get it.
good, and you get a discount at McDonald's coffee because if you say, "Could I have a seniors medium?" they give you 50 cents off. They do. Remember that, Marvin?
I'm glad you. Okay, you know what, Rob? I'm glad you don't have a microphone because we would get a CRTC complaint if they let you speak. Ron, you're hilarious. So fun to have you on. I hope everybody watches your show Wednesdays, The Opinionators on Cable 14.
Yeah. It's fun doing that show, especially with the Dipper.
You know what? We were happy to give it to you.
Oh, you gave it to Hey!
That was an show throwdown, by the way.
You know
Thanks
what?
for keeping
Were
my seat warm.
we like an extension from
No,
your
B
show?
team.
Like a what?
B team.
No, we were a spin-off of
A
The
spin-off.
Opinionators. We were the spin-off, yes.
You were the spin-off.
Yes.
We're the original.
Yeah, you're the original. We're just the spin-off with our own show with the big billing and stuff.
And now it's great because we have high definition TV cameras.
Yeah. So
But
they
they're
can
not
see
broadcasting in high def.
They're not?
No.
us. No, but we have the
I went out and bought a new
cameras.
high definition TV.
But why do you want to be on high def? It makes us look wrinklier.
It does make you look
High def is
'Cause
not
I
good.
saw it on the
Do you know what?
monitor.
High def is not good for the talent. It's good for the audience.
Now you're
Ron.
going to have to tell me about some new makeup.
I did have to tell you about new makeup because you know
God.
what? If you're not doing the mineral heavy duty makeup on high def TV, it's just not pretty for any of us.
Yeah,
I mean, Lauren,
you could use a little.
Lauren doesn't care. He likes looking hideous. Sorry, our Cable 14 producers here. What's that?
Mac HD.
Mac HD. Do they have their online? Wow. See, I use this mineral stuff that costs me.
You know what? Why don't I call? I know a girl who's a Mac rep. Let's see if we can get it sponsored and then subsequently thrown out.
Do you know what? You'll never try to look good on television because that's your shtick. You like to look grungy and a little revolting, and people love it.
Well, it was a pleasure being here tonight. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Well, you're so much fun, Ron. We'll have you back. You're awesome.
Okay.
Thanks for being in the
All right. Great.
Thanks for being in Laircast, and we'll
wine's
see you at the
really
party on Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great.
Chats in the Lair is a Power Group production. Visit us at powergroup.ca or laircast.com, or check us out on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.